Good evening. Welcome to yet another edition of the Democratic Newsroom. Our band of editors are back to debate and hopefully not to argue. And what is the moot point this evening? Well, viewers, we've seen all that has gone down where the Asia Cup is concerned. India did finally play Pakistan, and we did hear what Surya Kumar Yadav, who is the Indian captain, had to say once India did win. After that, you had Pakistan come up with their demands where they wanted the referee to be removed. They wanted the Indian team captain to be penalized. And then we saw the theatrics of yesterday where it seemed that the PCB had asked the Pakistani team not to play the UAE match. Well, they did eventually play the UAE match, but which prompts us to ask the question this evening: can politics be de-linked with sports, especially cricket, in this country? Let's take it first to Rajdeep Sardesai, our consulting editor.
Before that, let me shake your hand. Let me shake my friend Gaurav Sawant's hand, Nikhil Naz, Vikrant Gupta, Maria Shakil, so that, I'm trying to do what the Indians didn't do. I'm shaking hands because, you're part of a democratic newsroom. But obviously cricket is not. And look, politics and sport, politics has always been there in sport. Let's cut the chase. Whether it's the East Europeans, when there was the communist bloc, they used the Olympics to try and show their domination. 1980, the United States and the Western world boycotted the Moscow Olympics over the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. And there are numerous examples of messaging that's done through sport. Sport is a very powerful weapon to send out political messages. But I think in this case, I'm afraid it's not just become political, it's become toxic. I don't think this toxicity has ever existed between India and Pakistan of the level it is. There were friendships between players. Bishan Bedi, Mushtaq Mohammed were great friends off the field.
They played for the same county.
Played for Northants together. Sunil Gavaskar and Imran Khan were friends. Imran is the one who advised Gavaskar to wear a helmet all those years. That's all gone. The kind of vituperative attacks on each other, and I don't think there are any angels out here. We will pick up one Pakistani player, former player, and their ridiculous remarks that they make. We could pick up, and they will pick up Indian players. It's all very saddening. Politics has taken over, and what has taken over is what I see sometimes on primetime TV, performative nationalism. Performance करना है. फिर वो TRP के लिए हो, कुछ भी हो, कि हम देश के लिए जंग लड़ रहे हैं. अरे फिर खेलो, why are you playing? If you felt so strongly about Pakistan, you should not have played. You should have boycotted. Having played, then not shaking hands, which is a convention, then not following the rules, which is making political statements, and then the Pakistanis behaving like, brats. So you had India behaving like bullies, and you have Pakistan behaving like petulant children. And I think it all made for a very sad spectacle. That's my view.
Right, so collateral was cricket. You're saying to politics on either sides of the divide?
Yes, it was. I think the cricket has lost out.
All right. Okay. So from Rajdeep Sardesai, let's move on to our other editor, raring to go, Gaurav Sawant. Make your point.
So, it's not that we don't learn from history. It's not one odd player. There is a pattern to statements that are made by Pakistani players. Mushtaq Mohammed, Rajdeep spoke of Mushtaq Mohammed. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nikhil and Vikrant. When Pakistan defeated India, he said it's victory of Muslims over Hindus. And it's not just one statement. Waqar Yunus,
Mushtaq Ahmed, sir.
I said Mushtaq Ahmed.
No,
I said Mushtaq.
But we were referring to Mushtaq Ahmed.
I said
Mohammed और Ahmed अलग होते हैं.
I said no. Hold on. Again, this is how Rajdeep don't
I'm being serious.
Don't trivialize.
No, you said
it's
Mushtaq Mohammed.
I said
correcting
Mushtaq
you.
Ahmed.
Okay, let's
I said
go.
anyway. Mushtaq Ahmed.
Let him finish, Rajdeep.
Ishtaq-
Let him finish.
No, you can't
Make
mix
your
names.
point. Let him finish. Let him
You
finish.
can't mix names, but at least you must read the writing on the wall. That Mushtaq Ahmed saying it's victory of Muslims over Hindus.
Terrible.
Waqar Yunus. Okay, one thing is terrible. Waqar Yunus says that when Mohammad Rizwan offers namaz on the cricket field, Musalman Hindu ke samne namaz kar rahe, that was the match winning point for him. Ambassador G. Parthasarathy, you quote Imran Khan. Ambassador G. Parthasarathy, 1982, he says for Imran Khan, it was jihad for Kashmir, playing cricket with India. So how many such loose statements? Mohammad Yusuf Yohana himself had to convert from Christianity to Islam. What does he say? The Pakistani cricketers were trying to convert Brian Lara to Islam. Inzamamul Haq, he was trying to convert other Hindu players to Islam. There is a pattern to this. It's a gentleman's game, clearly not from the Pakistani side. I have 10 more instances. Shahid Afridi breaking the television set, Yusuf Yohana calling our captain. I mean, we are bullies. No, we are not bullies. every Indian identifies with the pain and agony of what happened in during Pahalgam, and Operation Sindoor was the response. There is no convention. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nikhil. The Pakistani team refused to shake hands with the British team at the Oval in 2006, didn't they? Did you say they are being bullies or petulant? You did not. So you're very selective. Apne aap ko, this self-flagellation is completely uncalled for, especially when India is right.
All right, Nikhil, go ahead.
Well, I mean, both Rajdeep and Gaurav make pertinent points. I think, see, politics and sports have always been intertwined. They can never be kept aside. I think the basic human nature is that of me being superior to, that's the first human instinct, me being superior than you are. We live in an age of nuclear war where you do not have wars as such. So how do you prove your superiority over the other country? I think sports the only thing. Look at China. They spent millions and millions of dollars in their Olympic program to tell the world that, listen, we are at the same level of the US of A. So I think sports has now become that other avenue where you show your dominance or your superiority over the other countries. You can't really keep that out. So far as what happened on the field is concerned, I think while Rajdeep does talk about, sportsman spirit, but I think Surya Kumar Yadav cannot isolate himself from what is happening in the country. You must not forget that Surya Kumar Yadav is also a citizen of the country, right? Now, when Mohammad Yusuf says, or there is a racist slur at Surya Kumar Yadav, why is it that I take offense to it? Not because he said it for an individual, because he said it to an Indian captain who's the ambassador of my country. When he says that, he's abusing the entire country. How is it that the Surya Kumar Yadav, who was sitting at his home when he saw those people die in Pahalgam, cannot be affected by what happened there? So if he wants to express his solidarity with the country, if there is a bit of nationalism in him, then he has the right to go out on the field and make that decision not to shake hands. And I think on that front, he's completely right. There have been past occasions where,
But Nikhil, can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah.
Right. So, but if he was so affronted, and if you're going to attach the fact that he has every right to make a political statement, which he did because he was affected by it, then he had every right to boycott that match and say that we don't want to play. But by the virtue of the fact that the Indian cricket team decided to play that match, then you're entering into the realms of sports, and then every other political theatre is not open to you.
No, so that's the thing. That's why I made my first point. Sports and politics are not, cannot be looked at in separate view at the moment. And I'll tell you why. When they take on the cricket field, why is it that he played in that cricket match? I don't think playing a sport is necessarily a means of extending a hand of friendship. He went and played that sport because his country needed him to play it at that moment. Why should India be isolated because of a country that, from the Indian point of view, was the guilty party? So what do? We allow the guilty party to continue, but we must isolate ourselves because of what happened there. No, but why should you do that? My point is your eventual aim should be to isolate Pakistan out of it. He went and played that sport. That's why I say not to extend a hand of friendship. If he does not play that sport, they pull out of the tournament, who does he harm? He harms his own countrymen, he harms India.
No, why does he harm? There are
because there
majority of
sanctions.
Indians didn't want him
but
to
there
play.
are sanctions, there are other repercussions that happen.
You deal with the repercussions.
No, but the point is, in past, every time there has been an issue, let's say South Africa as an example, you've isolated South Africa. The Western Bloc isolated Russia. Here you're saying, no, we can't isolate Pakistan, so let us isolate ourselves. Why should you then have to pay for something
Maria,
that
go, and then
Pakistan's
we have a special guest from Aaj Tak. We have Vikrant as well. Maria.
So, Preeti, look, we are talking about sportsmanship and that spirit that should begin perhaps with cinema first. Because just as the collateral, cinema and cricket becomes a collateral in this politics that plays out between the two nations. You have a situation where Diljit Dosanjh, his movie is banned in India only because it features Hania Aamir, a superstar. You have a situation where Mahira Khan features in a movie with Shah Rukh Khan and that song has to be deleted. I mean, what kind of... that sports delinking with politics can happen first. You have to delink cinema and arts. You have had a situation also.
And I tell you, there's a difference there.
There's
a difference. I'll let her complete.
And then,
I just want to point
what
out
is
the
even
difference.
more bizarre? Every time there is a tension between the two countries, the Karachi bakery in India is attacked. I mean, how frivolous can this be then?
No, I'm with you on the attacking of Karachi bakery, but because you spoke about cultural, exchanges, we must make a distinction between bilateral exchanges, because that I think is done when you have great relations with another country. So when you do, let's say, cultural or trade, those are bilateral relations. This is a multilateral tournament. I would have the same issue if India and Pakistan shake hands and play a bilateral series. That I think can only be done when things are all right. This is a multilateral
A movie
tournament.
is shot outside India before Pahalgam terror attack, and it is banned in India. That is the reaction
without one actress.
because Hania Amir is there.
But you can make a movie without one actress. You cannot not be part of a multilateral tournament. You can't pull yourself out of the Olympics. You know, bilateral exchange versus multilateral is a completely different.
All right,
thing.
I want to bring in
that
Vikrant.
also is it's an option. Sport, it's not an option. I mean, you've got to play, you've got to play. Secondly, I thought maybe Surya had triggered Pakistan. And sitting here, I feel we triggered by something. We won the game. We've been beating them every day. And if you look at the India-Pakistan record overall, we're still lacking far behind. And I know right now we shouldn't have gone on to play the Asia Cup. The Asia Cup should not have happened.
That's my point.
The fact is that it's happening. And to say that India should boycott the game and not play the game, like Nikhil said, why do you want to punish yourself? Go out, beat them this Sunday, next Sunday, and in the finals. हिसाब बराबर भी तो करना है. And then, you know, India was always a superpower in cricket in terms of the revenue. But India has become the real superpower in world cricket now, also because you are the world champions in every format. It's the might of Indian cricket. And, you know, I come from a generation, again, Rajdeep is the elder generation. He grew up with the romance of India-Pakistan. While I was growing up, I would see a Javed Miandad and Imran Khan, a Wasim Akram. India would play them every day, lose to them every day. You know, as kids, I'd be disappointed. I used to play cricket, and, you know, every day that India-Pakistan game was happening, we would switch on the television, India would lose, and we'll have to switch it off. Now is the time for us to actually, and I'm not saying that we need to enjoy playing with them, but now that we are in multinational tournaments, let's beat them every day. When was the last time they beat us in an ICC tournament? The Champions Trophy final 2017. And secondly, shaking hands.
21 T20 World Cup.
And once in 2022.
Yeah, and secondly, shaking hands. It's not a rule, it's a convention. You know, cricket runs on two things. One is the laws of the game, the other is the spirit of the game. These are the MCC playing conditions. So there are spirit of the game. You may shake hands, you may not.
But
And
do you make a political statement? Is that a convention?
No, can
No, I'll tell you what.
Can I just step in for a moment?
Yeah.
You know, he's right. Shaking hands is a convention. It's the spirit of MCC cricket. It's up to each individual. I don't want to shake your hand. It's your lookout. But when you go and make a political statement, and like it or not, Surya, you may approve of the statement as Indians. We may want Surya Kumar Yadav to express to make that statement, but it goes against the rules of the ICC.
What exactly?
One minute. Usman Khwaja wore a black armband in support of Gaza and Palestine. Moin Ali tried to do the same. They were censured and fined. Why?
Dhoni.
No. Let's
tried that in 19
Dhoni
World
put a soldier's insignia in a match against South Africa. ICC acted. Why have you not acted now? Look, ICC has to decide. Are you Indian Cricket Council or International Cricket Council? No, 1 minute. They have to decide that. Similarly, Pakistan. Asian Cricket Council is headed by Mohsin Naqvi, the Interior Minister of Pakistan. He has to decide. Are you the Interior Minister of Pakistan or are you heading the Asian Cricket Council? I think it's, you see, the problem is, this is actually a proxy war being fought between, we needed to manage the headlines. The truth is, because there were lots of angry voices on social media saying, why are you playing with Pakistan? So you scripted, you must listen to this. The truth of the matter is, both sides. One was trying to manage the headlines for domestic constituency, and Mohsin Naqvi, embarrassed as he was by what had happened, was trying to manage his domestic constituency.
Surya said,
that is the reality.
Surya said, I dedicate this victory to the families of the Pahalgam victims. So Pahalgam is India. So there was a terror incident in India. As an Indian, he can, right? Secondly, he said, and to the armed forces. The field of play, which is the post-match presentation. Why are we not criticizing and why are we not picking instances when Sachin Tendulkar, just 15 days after the 26/11 attack, when we won the Chennai Test match against England, said the same thing.
Or when the team
No,
took
no,
the,
he said,
took the
I
knee for
dedicate
Black
this.
Lives Matter.
He
Anyway,
said,
yeah.
he said, we dedicate this win to the families
Or
of the
when the
victims of
team
26
took to the
Lives.
knee for
So
Black Lives
was that
Matter,
not
you could do
political?
that then and
Was
get
that
away
not
with
political?
it. Okay.
Then-
Okay. I have, because it's festive season and we have lots of fans, which we're very happy with. I don't have much time, but 1 minute, Gaurav, make your point.
My point is, Black lives matter, but Indian lives don't matter in Pahalgam, and specifically Hindu lives don't matter. Just because Hindus were killed in Pahalgam and India raised that point, and Surya Kumar Yadav raised that point, you know, we are outraging. How could he say that?
Indians.
No,
Indians.
they're not
There
outraging.
were
Nobody
Indians
outraged
and
Hindus.
Hindus.
There was
There
also
were-
Muslims.
Yes, Indians, predominantly
Okay.
Hindus were singled out and killed. But my point is,
Then we should
why
have
are-
boycotted
why-
and ensured
again,
the Asia
that
Cup
point-
doesn't
He
play.
just
Okay,
explained that point.
No,
but
we
you
should have
said-
ensured Asia Cup
So,
doesn't take place.
I
We have
am-
enough power to
Sir,
do that.
I am all for not playing any cricket with Pakistan and isolating Pakistan from
Okay.
ICC.
Now, why
Get
aren't you
rid
doing
of them.
it? Why aren't you doing that?
I have done, sir, argued this for
No,
since
it's not
2011
because
100
there are
times.
servants in
But
the
that's
world.
not
That's
the
why
point.
the headline management
I am
started.
sorry.
No,
I am
don't.
sorry. You know, the tragedy is too many people bat for the Pakistani narrative.
batting for- I'm
It's
saying-
the
I'm saying
Pakistani
isolate
narrative
them.
that
Okay,
we are
Nikhil,
batting
you have
for.
20
The
seconds.
point, very frankly, is
Okay, make your
if
point.
Black Lives Matter, so do Indian
Okay,
lives,
yes.
and we have a right to say this.
Go, make your point.
Finally, as far as
20
that
seconds.
reference is concerned, I think Surya Kumar Yadav also mentioned Operation Sindoor in the post-match press conference. I think that wasn't done, and I'll tell you why. As an Indian, I may have enjoyed that, but imagine tomorrow if a Pakistani player
Right.
comes and mentions May 10th and
Or
Rafale or
Operation
whatever,
Sindoor.
or
Or
Rafale
Operation
or whatever,
Sindoor.
I
Yeah.
would
May
be
10th,
offended.
they were on their knees.
No, I
Okay.
agree, but I'm saying even if it's a fictitious story,
Got
if he
it.
mentions that, I as an Indian would be offended. So similarly,
Okay.
I think Sky
You know, on a
shouldn't have
lighter
done
note,
that.
Nikhil is
why
playing
the
on both
effort should
sides of
be
the
get
pitch today.
Pakistan out
because
of
all right,
ICC.
Maria,
What is
one
right is
second,
right
guys.
and what
Okay,
is
can
not
I
right
just
is
get,
not
can
right.
we not,
And I
Maria?
will go back to the same narrative
Okay.
of cinema. I'm of the opinion that there is a generation which enjoyed Ghulam Ali. Why shouldn't we enjoy it?
Because
Okay.
Only because his
give me
concerts
10
have to be
seconds.
banned
Give
in
me,
India.
give me
That
10
time Maravi
seconds.
enjoyed Zahir Abbas
Give
as
me
well.
10
Yes.
seconds to
So-
respond to
so
that.
I think-
Our cricketers are not Martians from outer space. Our film industry are not Martians from outer space. When India bleeds, they should also bleed, and they should also know
Preeti.
that Pakistanis
Okay,
are
guys.
unacceptable
Ideally this-
till they
Okay, I have the
come
last
against
30
terror.
seconds.
Ideally this, ideally that. But the fact is, we do not live in an ideal world anymore.
Yes,
To be
it's
honest.
not utopian.
And like you said, Nikhil is batting both
Both
sides.
pitches.
But
That
that's
is-
that's
No,
that's
I-
that's his
I-
essence. That's the essence of being
Why
independent.
should it? I mean, no, one minute.
He's
Why
He's
not?
allowed-
Why
I'm
unite
okay,
against
hold on.
Pakistan
If
terror?
someone gives you
Both
two
sides.
sides, you know, because no, please understand.
But no,
there
I'm
are
just-
two
it's an
sides who play a cricket
observation,
match.
Rajdeep.
A two sides
By
play a
the
cricket
way-
match. You know, I think when we sit in the Democratic
Okay.
Newsroom, the flag that we should be wearing is
yeah.
the flag of journalists and
Exactly.
not necessarily
When
a
Diljit
flag
Dosanjh-
Fair
which is
point,
a
fair point.
tricolour
Make your
or a
point.
When that
Pakistan.
Diljit Dosanjh movie was being shot, Nikhil was in Lahore
Okay.
eating shakar kandis. And yesterday,
So were you.
yes. And
Yes, just to be clear.
And yesterday, obviously we didn't know what's going to happen, and we regret going there. Yesterday, I was listening to some Pakistani commentators saying, "Oh, ये विक्रांत गुप्ता मुफ्त की रोटियां खा के गया लाहौर से सिर्फ पैसे ले लो." So if he's watching this show, भैया पैसे बता देना, I'll send them.
No, they were.
उनके वैसे ही पैसे मांग रहे
And the
होंगे।
irony,
दुनिया से पैसे मांगते
the
हैं।
irony is players are not shaking hands, but the commentators are doing jhappiya pappiya. The Indian and Pakistan.
Even the Pakistani commentators should be
With
out.
that,
Even
with
the
that,
Pakistani
we have to go
commentators
into a
should be out.
quick. All right, okay. With that, that's it. You know, we leave it for our viewers to decide on where they stand on this issue. We've been very vocal on where we stand. A quick break on the other side of this break. I see you on To The Point.